boy, do we have an episode for you guys today. And as always, we want to thank our sponsor, Mitchell Media. They're the ones that actually put the show on for us. So if you guys are interested in any social media posting, video production, photography, social media marketing, those are absolutely the guys you want to reach out to. And
they're so good at telling stories.
Best. Oh, they do so well for us. So if you guys think that ours looks as good as we do, reach out. You can get to them at mitchellogicmedia.com. They are local here to the area. As we've always stated, they're actually out of Cares in Farmington, which if you listen to the last episode, you would know that. But enjoy the episode. It's a great one, and we'll talk to you guys soon. It's been a minute since our last episode. Excited to get back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Me too. Our last episode was awesome.
It was a great episode.
It was so good. We had to take a month hiatus. We had to recover.
Yeah. Summertime, man. Summer's busy.
It is.
A lot going on.
A lot going on personally, a lot going on in the city.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on in the state too. I mean, you're traveling all over,
all
right?
over. Yeah.
Been going up north quite a bit.
Yeah, I go where the houses sell.
That's
kind of true.
that's business. Got to go where the business is.
That's true.
So so our last episode we interviewed Todd Lippa from Cares of Farmington Hills, where we're currently at. Thank you again for hosting us, Cares, and we're in the Colette's Place building and at the Mitchell Logic Studios.
Yeah, it's that was a crazy episode. Just because it's like I knew how it would go because I know Todd so well, but just to like talk about it and then like talk about our journey, and because I've known him for so long, it was just it was crazy. I realized that how fast time goes, but just all that's been accomplished, definitely not all by me, but just by Todd and Cares, and you're talking about my mom and my being in middle school, and it's just like, it's like breaking open the yearbook.
Oh, man. And actually for me, it was cool because I did not know Todd. I mean, we've spoken and met, quite a few times now, but I learned quite a bit as well from that. And definitely was really impactful for me and helped inspire me to kind of want to do more around here too. And I hope it did for others too, because they have a really incredible thing going on here, and they're going to continue to need more help over the next couple months, especially. So I'm pumped for the duck race. I saw that they're taking volunteer applications. I'm considering signing up for something to help out with that too, just because I want it to go very successfully. And
I always end up in the river no matter what.
You're collecting ducks at the end of the race.
Yeah.
I should help collect ducks and bring the dog and let her try to collect some ducks too or something. That'd be funny.
The thing is, try not to fall in the river.
How deep is it? I've been in it a couple times.
Not knee high even. I would say almost a knee.
Okay, but it's slippery.
But it's slippery. It's rocky. So I'll expose my mom real quick. She fell last year.
And she's like the marshal for it too.
She is.
She? Yeah.
And I don't know if marshal's the right term. But she tends to have that presence wherever she goes.
Like MC kind of thing. Master of ceremonies.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so she fell in the water. But she did it so graciously.
Of course she did.
Because you don't want to go on your knees because if you fall on a rock.
Yeah, busted. Yeah.
You make the situation way worse. So she fell, just put her hands up and just smacked the water. And I was like, I don't know how, because I would just put my hands up, put my knees down.
Yeah.
She did it so well. But yeah, it's the algae or whatever grows that makes it slippery.
Yeah, scum, algae.
I was looking at you. That's kind of your category.
Yeah, a little bit.
So let's get into it, dude.
Let's get into it. I know we got some exciting stuff to talk about. We did kind of talk about this before, but let's talk about the housing market again in the city. Because not to get too personal about myself, but I'm live in the city and I'm always looking to move from our starter home into something else. And been looking at some houses in the area, and Trevor, you've actually helped me look at some of these places. So why don't we just jump into it and talk about the market here?
So I think it's hard to really talk about all of it, but I think we'll talk about the most important part, and which everyone wants to know about, which is the prices.
Yeah.
The prices.
Bottom line.
Yeah, it's expensive. Like buying a house in 2025, honestly, no matter where you're at, it seems like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so much money? Nothing's affordable. It's because it's not.
Yep.
Um,
And, like, interest rates are high, and typically when that
yeah.
happens, housing prices go down because there's less people looking for
Hmm.
houses because it's more expensive to start a mortgage.
Right. I think right now, um, interest rates we say are high in comparison to like the
The
low
last 10
twos.
years that we've
Right.
had, yeah.
I mean, high in the historically is like 18%,
Mhm.
which they've seen back in the 80s. But right now, I think what we're feeling is actually a shift in the market. Um, as of the last month or two, I think with what's happening throughout the US, things with tariffs, just a lot of uncertainty right now, politically, um, in the US. People are a little cost conscious,
Mhm.
because with mortgage rates where they're at and the prices, like it's hard to get into a house under $2,000 a month right now,
For sure. That's like a
especially in
starter home.
Farmington and Farmington
Yeah.
Hills.
You can't I mean, if you can find a starter home for 2,000 a month, that's like you should jump on it.
Right, and, there's a lot of factors into that, right? It's not just price and interest rate, it's taxes and insurance, like, where you live can play a different factor with your insurance, like, so it's more expensive if you live in Detroit, it's cheaper for a house, more expensive for insurance.
Higher taxes.
Yeah, higher taxes in the Farmington and, Farmington Hills, which is really funny. I don't think people realize is that Farmington's tax rate is actually pretty high.
Mhm.
I think the millage, is higher than Birmingham's millage.
Is it really?
It's just their values
Yeah,
are
our taxable values are lower,
so
but
much lower.
yeah.
Um,
I actually didn't know our millage was higher than
yeah,
Birmingham. That's pretty
it
crazy.
is crazy, and but we have really great services. Like
For
they,
sure.
I mean, they come and pick up our leaves. They do a leaf
Well,
collection.
that's Farmington,
I
not
know. I'm
Farmington
sorry.
Hills.
I'm rubbing it in.
I
It's
don't
pretty
pick up my
great
leaves
though.
though. My yard's natural. We leave the leaves, so it's
That's
fine.
yeah,
And I wish everyone would,
makes sense.
but
Not surprised.
but in a tighter city where you don't have bigger lots, like it makes
Yeah,
sense to
it does
offer
make
leaf
sense.
collection.
And but overall, I think the prices are never gonna really come down. We're not gonna see something. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, we're gonna I'm waiting for the bust, waiting
Yeah.
for the bottom to fall
The
out."
days of like $150,000 house are over, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think there's situations where um you can find
Turnkey,
yeah,
turnkey.
you can find $150,000 house anywhere. It's just the condition. $150,000 house in Detroit could be nice. It's a nice house, right? A nice little ranch. $150,000 house in Farmington, not really gonna
A
happen.
bungalow that needs a ton of work.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they're so far and few between.
Yeah, and they go
Um,
quick because people know that they can
right.
buy them and flip them, or buy them and
Yeah.
update them, or do
I
whatever.
mean, we just sold a ranch in the Bel Air neighborhood,
Mhm.
which for people that don't know their neighborhood names, that's 13 Mile in between Power and Orchard Lake. And that sold for 352. So
Wow.
yeah.
In Bel Air,
In Bel
352?
Air.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Okay.
crazy.
That's crazy.
But that's just where we're going. And I mean, that's how real estate works. And that's why the conversation is so easy for people that are hesitant about and they want to wait to purchase a home is that it's never going to be easier. It's always the way your like value on real estate works is that over time it's always appreciating.
Yep.
It's one of like to me it's like one of the eighth wonders of the world, but not really. But just because it's like it's typically fail proof to
Yep.
invest in real estate.
Yeah. And especially if you're doing it well, and the main reason, and I think the main reason why that is
Mhm.
because you're investing in it over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So if you take it and look at a short period of time, like
Mhm.
yes, your home values go up and down over the course of a year,
Yeah.
5 years, 10 years, but when you get a typical mortgage, you're like doing it for 30 years.
Right.
And over the course of 30 years, trends are that prices
It's
go
going
up
up.
no matter what.
Yeah. And like area improvements, like Farmington's seeing so many improvements. And I think just people wanting to move here, that want is exponentially growing.
Mhm.
Um, and I think we're seeing a lot of new people in the city too.
Definitely.
Just because,
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was at Founders Fest last night for the beer tent, and she was like, it's crazy. Like, she usually can't get away from people she knows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but she was like, I only knew 4 people. She's like, I knew
Wow.
there's so many new faces,
That's
and
cool.
which is cool. It's
That's
cool.
cool.
I love that. Um, but what I don't love is the ability for people to not afford to live in Farmington. I think there should be a place for everybody, and I think there still is because there's a condos
Yeah,
that you can get into for in between 100 and 120 $1,000, but it's limited.
it is.
It's very limited.
And the city, I know Farmington Hills and Farmington, they're both doing things to try to encourage
They are
development of
definitely.
not just single family homes, but multi-unit and not just, saying, "Hey, we need to do this," but they're actually changing like zoning laws.
Hmm.
And when they reworked the city's master plan in Farmington Hills, they created a new category of zoning for like a special district essentially
Yeah.
for I want to say like the 12-mile corridor
Hmm.
where all those office buildings are. They are going to approve like multi-unit mixed use development in that area so it can be refresh and updated and add more housing to the stock of housing in the
Hmm.
area. And that's really, I think, like so people can get access to the city.
Yeah.
That's going to be how you make it more affordable and not necessarily reduce prices, but keep it stable
Hmm.
and keep it from getting out of control. Where okay, well now no one new can come in. Is
Right.
the way that you decrease prices or make it more affordable is you increase the supply,
Yep.
and that's like pretty much the only way that you
Hmm.
can really decrease the price is by increasing supply.
That's it. And a lot of times it's even hard to do it that way because demand. It's very easy for demand to outweigh supply,
Yes.
and that's what they would call a seller's market
Yep.
because there's more buyers than there are sellers.
People want to come here.
Right. And right now, just to circle back around to the shift that we felt is that you're starting to see houses that if they're not priced right, like they're not being priced competitively, they sit.
Yep.
And that I think becomes this is because of people's mindsets in the times.
Yep.
I don't think people are like running out of money. Um,
It's uncertainty more
There's,
than
like I think
anything.
there's a little the speculative part of my brain that thinks about, like, the Black Rocks of the
Uh-huh.
world and, like, high interest credit,
Mhm.
and because, I mean, it's easy even for people with really bad credit to go out and get a line of credit right now,
Yeah.
with probably a 20% interest rate, like a credit card.
That's wild.
I
That's
mean,
wild.
you can get a loan for a house right now and on a bank statement loans.
That's wild.
Now that's gonna be like 11% interest rate on your house, right?
Yeah.
Which is that's a lot. It's a shit
That's high.
ton.
That's high.
Yeah.
That's way higher than like
Um,
average.
and so that brings up the argument of could we see something like '08 but in a different way?
Mhm.
I don't think so because that was like the whole system was broken.
Yeah.
I mean, you had
Lack of
every
oversight,
yes.
tons of subprime lending,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that, like so there's that, and I also know that in the last couple of years, we allowed for, like 1% down mortgages as well,
Yeah.
which kinda seems almost subprimey.
Mm-hmm.
And, like conventional 1% downs, I think, like, the big mortgage companies were
There's
offering
no
stuff like
down.
that.
There's zero down loans.
See, that's wild to me
Yeah.
because that
It's
monthly payment has to be so high.
it does.
Yeah,
And it
and, like,
is.
how do people afford that?
Well,
They make it work.
yeah.
I
You can
know,
make it
like,
work.
and that's the other so because and we're so to give listeners an idea of, like, where houses are sitting, like, let's say some
Mhm.
of our listeners are wanting to sell their house and they
Yeah.
live in Farmington Hills. What is, like, a competitive price, and what is something that you see is not moving? Like,
So,
is there a threshold where it's like, if it's over this
absolutely.
price, it doesn't move?
Yeah, I would say there's like a couple different price brackets, we'll call it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have obviously your 100,000 and under. You're gonna have your 150,000, like 100 to 150,000 is a weird area because it's like its own thing. But
Mhm.
then you have your 100 and I would say 50 to 175 to like
3?
300.
Yeah.
300 is a huge price barrier, I would say.
Is it really? Like, mentally for
That's where
people?
right.
Yeah.
And people if they like 300 and they might go just above 300,
Yeah.
but they want to stay under 300.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have your
Like
300 to
3 to
like
5,
450,
450.
500,
Yeah.
and then everything over 500 is like I would say 500 to 700, and then
Those I imagine aren't moving that quick.
I would say they're moving faster. The $1 million plus houses
Okay, interesting.
are
Are the ones
the
that are
ones that
sitting.
you really have to price right because they will absolutely sit
Yeah.
just
And that has a
because.
limited pool of buyers
Right.
anyway,
Yes.
and so that makes
And it's
sense.
harder to run comps on those because there's limited sales.
Yeah.
So you really have to be an expert and have a motivated seller
Yeah.
because everybody thinks their stuff is worth a lot.
Of course.
Like they have just got
You
the
wanna get the
steal.
most for what you have.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
natural. I think it's just human nature. But we also have to live in reality.
of course.
And it can be hard
Yeah.
as a agent. Um,
What piece of advice would you give to someone looking to move into Farmington Hills right now? Or Farmington Hills right
Call me. No.
now?
I think the biggest piece of advice is um know what you want to buy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean I think that's
Be an
simple.
educated buyer.
Yeah, be an educated buyer. Rule number one. Um, but know that there's options and look into all of them. If Farmington's what you want, it's okay to start in a condo and go into a house. I think that like don't come from scarcity, come from abundance always in anything in life, not just with your housing goals, but like if you really want to get to Farmington, there's a way to get to Farmington. There's rentals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's rentals and condo rentals, like
Yeah.
apartments, and that's one thing that they're pushing. And there's a couple developments that are in the works that in Farmington Hills that are going to be affordable rentals for people. But just know that don't take a bite too big of a chunk just because you can get it doesn't mean you should.
Mhm.
And I think that people forget that
Mhm.
when they're looking for a house, because the romance period with a relationship is very similar to a house. You're gonna love it the most right when you buy it.
Yep.
It's only gonna go down,
Yep.
and so just keep that in mind when you're looking at houses or condos. That, and it's weird hearing from the agent to be conservative, but you should.
Yeah.
Just because I never like to see people get into situations where they get something they don't want in the long run or
They felt pressured
or
to get it right.
overcommit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And then so in my experience too, and just looking at houses and not a professional in the industry, I would
mm,
say be ready to move quickly.
yeah, move quick.
Like
Yeah.
don't like if you're planning on moving to the area, like be
Mhm.
ready to move quickly because like stuff if it's priced at the right bracket,
Mhm.
if you're in that like 300 to 600 range, like it moves quick. Like
It moves
depending on the
really
house,
fast. Yeah.
it goes
And
quick.
there's little things like the biggest thing that I've noticed that people don't think about is the smell of a home.
The smell of a home.
Yes, like
Really?
yeah,
I was not
totally.
expecting that.
Like, and I think the easy thing to point out is like people with pets. Like if you're selling your house and you have pets, like do everything you can to make the house smell good. And that might be painting some walls,
The
right? And
senses are
cleaning the car.
strong. The
It's
senses are
huge.
strong.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
That's a great piece of advice.
It is because it's no one thinks about it,
Yeah.
but I think single-handedly has the biggest factor besides appearance.
Is that because you've walked into some smelly houses
Happened yesterday.
and you're like, I can't buy this house.
Yep.
I can't offer this house to my client.
The house that we put an offering on smells good.
That's good.
It does. I'm telling you, it smells
That's
good.
so good smelling houses, move quick,
They
be an
do.
educated buyer.
Yes. Thank you for wrapping that up. Now it feels weird.
No, I mean that's
Um,
good advice.
but yeah, it can be stressful to buy and sell, especially when you're contingent on selling to buy. But that's why honestly, that's why we do so well in our business is because we have a really good strategy and procedure in place to get that done for people where they don't have to write contingent. So
That's
and that's a
huge.
whole separate
That's
conversation.
huge.
Because I want to get into the next topic.
Well, yeah. So if you are a resident of
Yeah.
Farmington Hills, and you have a house here that you need to maintain, I thought it was really funny. Have we talked about this on the podcast? Like, I don't think have we
I don't think
talked
we
box tree
have.
moths? Okay.
No.
So like obviously I do pest control, and like box tree moths have
Yeah.
been a big portion of my life this year because it is a new problem to this area.
Wait, box tree moths. I never
Yeah.
heard that. Were they called something else?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
BTMs, box tree moths.
ATMs.
box some people call them boxwoods or boxwood
Okay.
moths, but a box tree, there's like 81 different species of box trees, and they're ornamental trees. You guys have seen them. You might even have them in your yards. It's kind of like the hot piece of landscaping over the
Mhm.
last 10 years. Everyone's been ripping out their like pine and like yew bushes and switching to box trees, boxwoods, those kind of things. And they're not a native species. They're from Asia, and they're pretty hardy. They're easy to trim. You can like, trim them into funny shapes or swirlies or orbs or whatever.
Yeah.
So people really like them for ornamental landscaping. But the problem with that is there's a pest, an invasive species called box tree moths that were introduced into the country, I want to say about 15 years ago. But they first appeared in Michigan, and I wanna say it was, like, 8 to 10 years ago, and it was, like, weirdly, like, in up here, like, it wasn't
That's
at the border, it
random.
was really random, but it was from importing these box trees from Asia.
Mm.
They were importing them with eggs, cocoons, caterpillars, moths in the plants themselves, and then, of course, moths fly around. They can
Mhm.
fly, I wanna say, like, 2 to 3 miles a day.
Mm.
And so that's how quickly that they can spread. They can spread in a day, 3 miles. So in a week, you could infest all of Farmington Hills
Mhm.
and Farmington. And so last fall was the first sighting of box tree moth caterpillars in Oakland County. And it was some random city, like a little township in the North Oakland County.
Okay.
And it was one, and it was like a resident reported it, and they're like, wonder what that means. And so this spring, we started to notice, and then this was like late March, early April, that so like West Bloomfield, Maple Road, 15 mile, pretty much the whole corridor. I all my clients, we were seeing that every single one of their boxwoods or box trees were infested.
Mm.
And what makes this bad is they do something called like defoliating. So they eat all of the leaves off of all of the boxwood shrubs. And leaves are really important. That's how plants produce their food. They don't have leaves, they can't photosynthesize, they can't get sunlight, and they can't make nutrients for themselves, so they die. And so it kills people's boxwoods when they
Yeah.
have these infestations. Um, the good news is there are ways to treat for them. It's fairly easy, but it will require ongoing maintenance
Right.
because these box tree moths are not going to go away.
Mhm.
They're invasive, so they're not from here. No native species really knows what to do with these box tree moths. Like typically birds, other insects, some like mammals will eat insects. But when it comes to invasive species, the fauna here, like the living things here, don't like they're not familiar with it, so they don't interact with it.
Mm.
So that means that like birds aren't going to eat the caterpillars of box tree moths because they don't know they're poisonous. They don't know like what these things are, so they're just like, I'm not going to mess with that.
Really?
Seriously, yeah.
Oh,
So like
wow.
same thing with like an invasive plant like buckthorn, which like if you look around Farmington Hills, like any tree line it's filled with this plant called the buckthorn. They have berries, they're like round leaves, and they pretty much like cover like any property line where people
Mhm.
want privacy, it's all invasive boxwood. Or I'm sorry, buckthorn.
Buckthorn.
And so if you look at like the berries, nothing eats the berries.
Can we
Like
eat the
birds,
berries?
no, they're poisonous.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's another invasive plant. They're poisonous. Nothing
Mhm.
eats them, and so because nothing eats them, berries are seeds, and so anytime these plants fruit and create berries, they just fall down and then the seeds take over and they get rid of all the native plants. And so same thing with the box tree moths, nothing interacts with them and it allows their populations to get really big and they take over.
Interesting.
So the reason why I'm bringing all of this up
Mhm.
is the city of Farmington, I think in the last week, put out like a press release. They posted it on their website. They posted it on social media, warning residents about box tree moths. And I think that's great. Like I think it's really important that municipalities get ahead of it to help educate the residents because the only way that you're going to get this under any semblance of control is by the community all taking like a collective action towards addressing this. And so I thought it was a little late, like, because we've been dealing with it for 3, 4 months now.
Mhm.
But the city did provide good instruction for, like, let's say you do have these box tree moths infesting, they gave instructions on how to properly dispose of it in order to avoid the spread of more of these, and that's really important. So, actually, what they put out, and I thought it was great. So, if you have boxwood plants or box trees on your property that you're like, oh, these all died. They died because of the box tree moths. But if you're going to get rid of them, which if they're dead, you probably are,
Mhm.
the city of Farmington said they want you to place all infected plant materials. So, like when if you're pulling it out of the ground,
Mhm.
put all of that into garbage bags, not the typical like compost, like the paper
Mhm.
bags that
Mhm.
we put out. They want you to put it in garbage bags. They want you to like tie them up, make sure that anything that could be in those dead plants, all the eggs, the uh,
Mhm.
cocoons, the caterpillars, don't have a way to escape, and they want you to throw it out in the regular trash as opposed to being sent to a compost place,
Makes
because
sense.
if you send it to compost and they put it in a big compost pile, that's going to give a chance for these guys to get out and then spread from wherever they're composting this stuff at. They also like want you to write boxwood trash like, on the garbage bag.
Really?
Yeah, like, they're very like, I think, they're
Interesting.
serious about this, like,
That's cool
they
to
wanna
see.
do good stuff,
That's
and
good.
so, like, hey, it would be cool if Farmington Hills also put some stuff out too,
Yeah,
because, from what I have seen, it's actually worse in Farmington Hills than it is in Farmington, but you
which makes
actually
sense.
yeah, it does. There's, bigger lots, more, landscaping and stuff in people's yards of Farmington
When
Hills.
did we start putting those trees in yards? Do you know?
Probably about, like they started to get popular, like, 10 years ago.
Which would make sense with a lot of the
Yeah.
newer construction
Yeah.
that we see, like the 9 Mile and Halsteads.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally. Any
that's
like,
all boxwoods in
pretty
there.
much any new construction they put in
Yeah,
boxwoods
because it's
because it was
easy.
the hot thing, it was easy. And then, like, you texted me a couple months ago
Yeah, I did.
something that you saw. What was that again?
So where I was just on a stroll, with my fiance, and we were walking past Farmington High School, and we had just had our networking group the day before or something, and Dion was talking about the boxwood moths because it was relevant, and I was like, "Oh, hey, look at that's a dead bush right there,"
Yeah,
and it was a boxwood, and it's like
yeah.
the logos they
They put, like, FHS
yes, FHS.
in the box with, like,
Mhm.
in the boxwoods, they carved it out and they made it say FHS
Yeah,
and they were all
half of
dead.
the H and the S were not looking too good.
They gotta call someone.
Who should they call?
They should call me.
Yeah,
But
Ghostbusters? No, I'm
but
kidding.
no, so, like, if you are
Bad joke,
Ghostbusters,
bad joke.
Ghostbusters, I do wear a backpack that looks like the proton pack from Ghostbusters, but,
All
um,
jokes aside.
all jokes aside, if you do have boxwoods and you wanna try to save them, like,
Mhm.
you don't just have to let them get annihilated, like, there's
Yeah,
some things you can do.
doesn't have to be this way.
Doesn't have to be this way, guys. So honestly, there's stuff that you can do yourself as a homeowner if you're going to be diligent. You can actually go to like any garden supply store. Home
Mhm,
Depot has this. Ace, um, Farmer John's has it. I
mhm,
checked there because I go there fairly regularly. But there is something you can buy called BTK, and it's a spray that you spray on your boxwoods. And I'm not gonna remember what the BTK stands for. It's not the killer, the serial killer. It's like a fungus and a bacteria that you spray on your plants. And so when the caterpillars are in there and they're eating the leaves, they're going to be ingesting that fungus and the bacteria.
mhm.
And after a couple days, it kills them.
Interesting.
Um, and so the good thing about something like BTK is it targets specifically like caterpillars. It's not a what's called like a broad spectrum
Okay.
pesticide where it kills everything,
Mhm,
even the good stuff that you don't want to kill. But the problem with BTK and like doing it yourself is you do have to apply it regularly. Like you have to do it probably minimum every 2 weeks. And so if like you're an avid gardener and that's
mhm.
not a problem to you, great, go for it, do it. Cost effective, protects native pollinators. It's a great way to do it. But it is labor intensive.
Of course.
Um, you can also hire a pest control company or even like gardeners that'll do it themselves. A pest control company is going to put a product on the plants that last 2 to 3 months. which obviously is way less frequently than every 2 weeks. So, and it's something that you don't have to worry about. And it is important to do it throughout the whole season because there's multiple hatching cycles of these things. So,
Gotcha.
like we had one cycle in April, and those caterpillars eat, they do the cocoon, and then they turn into moths. Those moths lay eggs, and the cycle continues. So now we're in mid-July. I just in the last week, I'm now starting to see this second cycle
Are
happening.
you?
So I was kind of curious about how long it was going to be, and it was about 6 weeks or so. So it
That's a
will
lot.
require maintenance over the
Yeah.
entire growing season, which if you don't want to deal with that, you might just need to rip out your boxwoods and replace it with something. I recommend native plants, but
Hey,
if
shout out to native
shout
plants.
out to native plants, but my
I
whole
love
yard
it.
my whole yard is native plants, so I'm a huge proponent of
Yeah,
it,
you
but
are.
if that's something where you're not really interested in doing maintenance like that
Mhm.
on your landscaping, it will be time to check for something new because
I
this
don't
is
I
ongoing.
don't think I mentioned this or not to you, even off podcast, but Liv and I decided to do we're doing all native plants for our wedding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're picking them
That's
ourselves.
even cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
sweet.
we just harvested, like, so much yarrow,
No way.
and it's
Okay,
like
cool.
we have it hanging upside down drying right now,
Nice.
and, like, the week of the wedding, we're gonna do a lot of Queen Anne's lace,
Yeah.
but it's already blooming
It is
'cause it's
done.
been
It's
so
gonna be done.
warm.
It's gonna be
So we're
done.
going to the UP.
Are you really? You're gonna go
Yes.
up and
Yeah.
collect it and dry it and stuff? That's great.
And we're gonna look at some other, some flowering plants
Yeah.
as well,
Get some
more
like
colorful.
coreopsis, some
Yes.
coneflowers, stuff like that.
But what this gift that it's giving me is now everywhere I go, I'm identifying native flowers,
It's a
which
sickness.
I never thought I
It's
would
it's a
do.
sickness. It's like when you get into birding and stuff too, where you're like, "Oh, that's a woodpecker." That
Yeah.
it's like, "Nope, you're ruined." It's
Mhm.
you're like, "Oh, there's coreopsis. Oh, buckthorn. We don't like
We don't
that."
like that. And it's crazy how many invasive plants and species we have in Michigan that people don't realize.
It's so bad.
Like, what is the one? It's called like katsu,
Kudzu.
kudzu, and
Yeah.
it's like this crazy vine that just
Crazy
like
vine takes over trees, kills
yes,
trees,
like takes over.
takes
It's
over.
crazy.
Garlic mustard's really bad.
Mhm.
Those are like little white shoots. We don't have to get into plants,
No, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like
Even though you'd
we
love
have a
to.
lot. I could talk an hour
I
about it.
know.
Um, so yeah, box tree moths. If you guys have questions, I mean,
Call Sergio's.
you can call
You
Sergio's, and
should.
I'm happy to give you any type of insight. Education is the most important thing about getting on top of pest issues.
If you're a
So
cool person, you're gonna call Sergio's.
thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
So now let's talk about some extremely timely issues. Like today is the Founders Fest, right?
Yes.
Like it started, I think it soft
Last night.
launched last
It
night.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, the first night of the beer tent.
The beer
That's
tent.
really so there's really cool parts of Founders Fest. I would say one of the anchors is the beer tent, obviously. Alcohol has a
Alcohol is
tendency
the
to do that.
anchor.
There's the Fido Fest, which for dog lovers, everyone knows that. They have like the pool where they have like the jumping competition. There's tons of other
They do a
things.
jumping competition? I
Yeah.
never knew
Yeah, they
that.
have like the
Where's
platform.
that at?
It's so I haven't been down there because I was out of town last night, but they usually put it in front of where that Bulldogs Philly
Yeah,
cheesesteak is.
okay. So right in
Yeah,
like the
like
parking lot,
parallel, like in between that and Riley Park.
the pavilion. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's the parade. That's gonna be tomorrow.
That
Eh,
what time is that
10
tomorrow?
a.m.
Is it so it's gotta wake up early, get your
Yeah.
spot along Grand River.
Yep. And I'll be there.
You'll be there? Are you attending the parade or are
I'm
you
actually in it. I'm
participating?
in
You're
it.
in it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So like I mentioned, I think it was either the last podcast or a couple podcasts ago. So we put on Holidays, which is the Christmas festival in Farmington, and we're doing like a Christmas in July
Oh, nice.
float. Well, it's not even a float; it's a car.
Okay.
And so we got Santa to bring his convertible.
During his vacation?
Yeah.
Summer vacation?
Yep, he's
Oh,
taking a
man.
break from vacation to come work with us. And so look out for me driving this convertible Porsche. I'm hoping it's not manual. I
Oh
swear,
god.
if it's manual.
They have like the paddle shifters now. I'd be surprised.
So
Santa seems like he likes luxury and comfort, so
he does.
he's probably
Santa's
got the
doing well
auto.
for himself.
I mean, if Christmas got him a convertible Porsche, like yeah, he's doing good.
So we're doing Christmas in July. You're gonna see Santa waving to everyone in his Hawaiian fit. So
Nice. Yeah, oh,
um
he came all the way from Hawaii for this.
he did.
Wow,
He's a good guy.
he's a good guy.
Um
He loves Farmington.
loves us.
Like so, yeah. There's a bunch of other stuff going on too.
Yeah, what else we got going on?
There's a foam party. I'm assuming that's for like
Foam
I'm
party.
assuming that's for children.
I'm sad that everyone by the time they hear this is gonna be
It's
over.
gonna be over, so
But next
hopefully,
year, get there.
yeah, it's good. They added a gaming trailer too, so
Oh, cool.
yeah, so like
We're
kids
with
can
it.
go. Yeah. Um, Farmers market is moved, so
Yep. It's gonna be at the high school
it's gonna
parking
be at
lot,
the high school parking lot.
which is nice for me because it's right across the
That's right
street.
across, so you can walk.
I
I
can
mean, you could
walk.
walk to the regular one too.
Yeah, I do.
I also didn't know they did like a 5K for
Yeah,
this.
color run.
Yeah. Oh, it's a color
It
run,
is.
so you get to throw like cornstarch at people.
I think there's designated color throwers.
So it's not a free for all.
I don't think so. I don't know how it works. I've never
It's
done
not
it.
PvP server color.
No, I have no clue how this works, but I would feel like they have designated color throwers.
That's less cool.
I mean, you could probably show up with some color. No one's
There's
show up with
cornhole.
red dye
We have
number.
a competing cornhole tournament here, and there's a talent show.
Which you know what? Let's plug it real quick, Dion.
Yeah, go
You know
ahead.
what, listeners? We have a cornhole tournament next week. It's going to be the 25th, which is a Friday, from 3 to 7. It's going to be in conjunction. Well, really, it's the chamber, but more specifically, it's going to be the young professionals for the Farmington Greater Area Chamber. Super cheap.
Yeah,
$10.
$10. Yep.
Yep, $10 a person, $20 a team. What that gets you is beer. That gets you a couple beers, some food, your entry into cornhole tournament. And the beer is actually exclusively provided by Farmington Brewing Company.
Boom.
Boom. So if you're more interested,
And networking too.
yeah, if you're interested, look on the Farmington, Greater Farmington Area Chamber website. You'll see the posting.
Very cool. Yeah, so they've got a lot going on. Do you have any standout memories of growing up in Farmington and going to the Farmington Founders Fest?
You know, I don't know about Founders Fest, but I would say that my memories come from honestly the holidays, which
Really?
we didn't always do it. I mean, this
Yeah.
last year was the first year we did it because we didn't want to see it go away. But I always remember the greens market and it being cold and going to a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Which-
Standout
no
memory.
produce, bunch of greens though.
Greens
Hence
and
the
gifts.
name.
Greens and gifts.
Yeah, greens and gifts. But you know, I'm actually originally from the west side of Michigan.
Okay.
So I moved over to Farmington when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
No, actually it was later than that. I was actually I was eight, yeah, I was 8. And then I went to Gill Elementary and Power. But then I ended up actually graduating from Country Day. So my early childhood is actually from Muskegon. That's where
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was born, as in Muskegon.
Got it.
How about yourself though?
I'm a lifelong Farmington Hills resident.
Yeah, you are.
And so I definitely have memories of Founders Fest in particular, especially like the art shows. I'm definitely more of an artistic person, so I always appreciated the art shows.
Mhm.
But actually, the main memory that stands out to me is as a kid, there was a vendor there that sold like wooden rubber band guns.
Of course.
And I don't know if that vendor's still going to be there or not. Like
Those are everywhere. So
they are they still ever like
people know about them.
So
If you had a childhood, you do.
true. And so I like always loved going to the Founders Fest each year because I could get a new rubber band gun
Mhm.
because that was like, where else are you going to get those? And they're like
Yeah.
handmade, and so that was always a standout memory. Is I liked having that. And then there was a year where the rubber band gun person had marshmallow shooters too out of like PVC pipes.
The marshmallow shooters.
Yeah,
I
so like you
forgot.
could put like mini marshmallows in there,
Yeah.
and that was the last year I was allowed to get anything from that vendor because my friends and I want to say we were like in middle school, learned that you could put like Nerf darts in the marshmallow shooters. It was like the perfect size
Yes.
for Nerf darts as opposed to those mini marshmallows.
Oh.
And if you put a Nerf dart in there, it was lethal.
Oh yeah,
It
because it's under your own
it was
pressure.
under your own pressure.
Yeah.
So like we used to have like the Nerf wars in like middle
Yeah.
school, and the marshmallow shooters were banned because one of my friends like got like headshotted by a Nerf dart. It hit him in the eye, and it caused
Oh
like
no.
his eye got like internally bruised and stuff because of how strong these things were. So like that's like a core memory for me from like the farmers market was lethal marshmallow shooters.
Oh my gosh.
So kids,
Huh.
have your parents take you to go pick up
Yeah.
some marshmallow shooters if they're there because they're
I think
really fun.
everyone has a Nerf story
A
of some
Nerf
sort. Because
fatal injury.
for me, it was we used to, and we were. You know what? We were some bad kids.
I
I'm
was
not
a
gonna
bad
lie.
kid too.
We
I got
would
into trouble.
we would put tacks on the end of the
Oh
Nerf darts.
God,
That's essentially it's a
modifying
weapon,
that's a weapon.
and we would shoot Nerf darts with tacks on the end of them at each other.
Oh my
And
God.
oh yeah, I've been stuck by a tacked Nerf dart before, and it just stayed right there.
You're like,
Yeah,
"Ah!"
we did
Oh my
not
God.
care. Um,
That's
childhood.
childhood. So it's funny. I'm gonna tie your middle school to the history of Farmington Hills. So you went to Power Middle School.
I did.
So do you know who the founder of Farmington was?
Who's that?
Arthur Power.
Oh, makes
It's named
sense.
after. So we're gonna do some quick historical breakdowns of Farmington since it
Yeah,
is the Founders Fest,
let's hear it.
and we're gonna give our listeners some greater context as to why we have this celebration,
What they want.
why we sell lethal marshmallow shooters on the streets to children.
Thanks, Arthur.
Thanks, Arthur. None of this would have been possible without Arthur. So, Arthur Power was the founder of Farmington. He actually moved here from Farmington, New York, which I had heard about Farmington, New York, and I didn't know it was
That
the
math.
original one.
Yeah.
And so he actually came here in like 1824,
Mhm.
but it wasn't originally called Farmington. It was originally called Quakertown. I don't know if did you
Really?
know that?
Did
I
not know
yeah,
that.
so it was originally called Quakertown because Arthur Power was a Quaker.
A Quaker.
And if listeners don't know what Quakers are, it's like a subsect of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you might know is like Quaker oats, and that's like they were also Quakers.
So they love some oatmeal.
They loved bland food. And like because
Oh
it
my
was like
gosh.
it made you more closer to God if you had bland food.
Really?
Yeah, there's something in there like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not an expert on Quakers, so like I don't want to pretend like
Yeah.
I know that much about Quakers, but like that's kind of like the Kellogg thing too, like why like cornflakes were such a big deal
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, you can't have sugars, like it's
They just sold their company.
they did just sell.
Yeah.
But
It was like a couple
they're
billion.
staying in Battle Creek though.
That's good.
Yeah. And so it was really Quakertown. 2 years later after they founded it, they renamed it Farmington.
Okay.
And
Which I think it's important to note that if people look at a map and look at New York and the town names,
yeah.
you'd be surprised on how many town names that came over.
I think a lot of people from there kind of migrated
Yeah.
after the initial wave of people.
Mhm.
This was like kind of the frontier. So like when they realized, oh, there's not much like opportunity here, we're gonna go west into like the
Yeah.
uncharted territory.
Rochester,
Rochester's another
Albion,
one. Yeah, totally.
Ithaca.
Dang,
That's
Ithaca,
crazy.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked, but I bet there is some correlation
Oh,
there.
there is.
Yeah,
Yeah, there absolutely is.
that's crazy. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Um, So like why did they pick this area, right? Like why Farmington? Um so actually what people might not realize about specifically Grand River Avenue and like, the road that runs through downtown Farmington is Grand River Avenue has huge historical significance in Michigan, dating back hundreds of years.
Mm,
They were actually Native American trails that the natives used to travel to hunt, to
mhm,
trade, to see other tribes, and along this trail were either culturally significant areas or economically significant areas where like trade happened,
mhm,
specifically like fur trade, that kind of thing.
yeah,
So Grand River Avenue was one of the main corridors of travel from St. Clair and the Detroit River up
yeah,
all the way through the middle of the state. And then I want to say, does it go to Muskegon?
it definitely does.
Yeah, I thought it
That's
did.
it's really interesting. So I actually know. So Ken Massey, past mayor of Farmington Hills, in his backyard, he has this really old tree, and they would warp the limbs of the tree to point in the direction of the trail.
Yeah,
And so you can. He has one of these trees in his
that's cool.
yard.
There's a word for that. I forgot what I think.
I have no clue.
Ooh, I,
Pull it out, Dion.
I
Find
I
it.
could look it up, but there is a word for like marker trees,
Yeah, it's
essentially
really
like that.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and that dates back hundreds of years to the
Mhm,
Anishinaabe people using these trails as like hunting grounds, like I said, for trade,
mhm,
cultural significance, and so when you look at like the history of towns across Michigan, the reason why you found like in the 17 and 1800s along Grand River, all of these towns were formed is because that's where important trade happened between settlers and indigenous populations.
mm,
And so Farmington was one of those areas
mm,
where they were like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. We're going to put it along this major trail. And it wasn't, and then, once there were settlers, it became a lot more trafficked. Um, so you got then in like the mid 1800s, downtown Farmington really starts to pop off.
mhm.
They're putting in mills, they're putting in churches, they're putting in taverns, the big three.
The
A
big
job,
3.
your religion, and your taverns, your
Yeah,
community meeting spaces.
priorities.
The three priorities right there. And so what was really interesting is so like it grew so much, but like 1867 it's no longer just an outpost, they're like fully incorporating into a village. So that was a big move. And then like 5 years later, I don't know, so I didn't actually realize this either. 5 years later, 1872, there was a huge fire in
Really?
Farmington, and it burned down everything.
Everything?
Everything it burned down.
Oh,
And
man. Was it because
so
a cow kicked
it
a
was
lantern
it
over?
was the commercial district. Wait, what?
I
What?
said, was it because a cow kicked a lantern over?
I could be. Like I honestly don't know. I didn't do too much digging into the great 1872 fire of downtown Farmington, but
Oh.
it like I guess took down the entire commercial district of the
Mm,
city. And so the rebuilding efforts from that is actually what shaped what is now our current downtown. And so that fire, it's actually very similar to Detroit. Like Detroit burned down too,
right.
and like the Detroit's motto in Latin means like better times will come, it will rise from the ashes,
Mm,
because there was a huge fire that kind of burned down a good chunk of the city of Detroit. And then the rebuilding of that is what turned into modern day
mhm.
Detroit. Like downtown Farmington has a very similar story, which was interesting. And I feel like that's like a common trope
Yeah.
in like history in cities, is like, oh, we had this fire, it burned everything down, and
Yeah.
we persevered and we rebuilt.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about it, I'm like, oh, because they built everything out of wood, like because that's all there was. So
Yeah.
that's why everywhere had these huge
Yeah.
fires. Um, so in that time, after the fire, actually when they incorporated it, they built the Governor Warner House. So that was kind of like one of the first significant landmarks that we're familiar with today that was built, and they built right when they incorporated it as a village. The Masonic Lodge was built 1876. So as part of that rebuilding the downtown, they built the Masonic Lodge.
I know, too, a little bit of history about the Masonic Lodge.
Yeah.
That was built in conjunction because that was the town hall.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So the
cool.
Masonic Lodge and the town hall kinda came together to build this
Yeah.
joint building.
'Cause they're like, "We're a village now, so we
Yeah.
gotta get serious about
Mhm.
this. We should have some offices, some like public desks probably for
Yeah.
like to come pay your taxes kind of
Right.
thing. So that makes a lot of sense. And then actually, the Botsford Inn, where Botsford Hospital is at on along Grand River, that was actually built in 1836. So like I didn't know it was
Really?
that old.
Oh, wow.
So that predates the city incorporating as
Holy
like
cow.
a village. Yeah, like it was like a one of the main things that like when people were traveling along Grand River, um, Farmington was like a stop off point because if you were going to go to Lansing, which at the time was like an outpost. Like it was a swamp. Like there was nothing in Lansing other than like farmland and indigenous people. Like there was nothing
Mhm.
there, but people were moving out that way. And Farmington, this journey took days. Like
Right.
it took weeks to get across the state. And Farmington was a very popular stopping point just in terms of the amount of time it
Crazy.
took. So Botsford Inn was built in 1836 to help people who were settling stay. And what what was really interesting in researching the history of Farmington is I learned of like this 30-year period in history
Mhm.
where Michigan made huge investments into wooden planked roads. Have you heard
What?
about this?
Well, no, tell me more
Do you know
about
it's
this.
like so from like the 1830s, which is when the Botsford Inn was built,
Mhm.
to about the 1880s, which is when this period of huge growth happened in Farmington. The state of Michigan actually passed a law in 1850 called the Michigan 1850 Plank Road Act. And what that did was like standardize uh, standards for building roads out of wood boards and
Boards,
boards, like literally like planks of wood. And
like a
I,
boardwalk road.
like a boardwalk, but across all of Grand River, like from Detroit, and I think it went all the way to like the west side of the state at some points,
What?
and they would have sections. And
Mhm.
so the reason why they did this is because the traffic along this trail, Grand River Trail,
Mhm.
was so heavy that it like made it muddy. And so the ground was deteriorating and eroding. And so it was taking longer and longer and longer to make this journey to Lansing and to the
Mhm.
west side of the state. And in 1837 is when Michigan became a state. And when Michigan became a state, they built the capital in Lansing, in the
Mhm.
middle of nowhere.
Which is
And it used to be in Detroit, and
right.
so like everything, Detroit was bumping. Like
Yeah.
it was a lot going on, and the legislators actually decided that in order to properly represent everyone in the state, the capital should be centrally located and not just along the river in the southwest corner.
Yep.
So they all of a sudden built the capital in Lansing. I think MSU opened up shortly after that.
Mhm.
But there was no way to like easily get there. There wasn't a railway at that point, and it was Grand River Trail was like the only way to get out there. And it took days to get from Detroit to Lansing. So built all these wood planks, and the legislators were like, we got to do something. So they created this law that allowed private companies to build and maintain plank roads across the entire state.
Oh, wow.
So not that much different from how we are doing it today, where we have a governing body in MDOT who
Mhm.
sets the standards, sets the like administration of these roads, but they pay private companies to build and maintain them. There wasn't like asphalt in the 1800s, and there
Mhm.
wasn't like an
No
easy.
concrete?
There was no well concrete like the Romans did it, but like there wasn't a way for like settlers in America to
Yeah.
mix and pour
We're still
concrete.
figuring it
They were
out.
still figuring it out, and they didn't think like, oh, we could put gravel down.
Mhm.
But what Michigan had in abundance was trees.
This is pre-automobile, right?
This is carriages.
Okay.
This is carriages. 1830. Yeah,
Yeah.
automobile was, 1905, something like that. So, about the 1830s to 1880s, they were building wood roads out of planks. So why did it only last like 30 years?
Yeah, why
Well,
is
it
that?
it turns out that uh building roads out of wood sucks. And it is incredibly difficult to maintain.
Yeah.
Wood warps,
Doesn't like getting wet.
wood rots,
Yeah.
especially if you're, planking it from the raw tree and you're not staining it, you're not
Mhm.
sealing it, you're not painting it, you're just, getting some handmade nails and
Yeah.
they're not like countersunk. Like there's no building technology. This is bare bones. And so as traffic along these roads increased and Lansing grew, the upkeep on the roads became like too expensive to maintain. And what ended up happening was these private companies that maintained them ended up making them toll roads, which along Grand River. So if you were commuting along Grand River, anytime you came to like a major village, town, settlement, anything like that, there would actually be toll booths that you would have to pay to continue to travel down the road. And the city of Farmington actually had a toll booth by I
What?
think it was by the Botsford Inn, if I'm
Really?
remembering correctly. Yeah.
That's cool.
And
That'd
so
be cool to know exactly where it
yeah,
was.
I couldn't find exactly where,
It was
but
a long
there
time ago.
there was I did find like a sketch of the specific toll booth that was in
Were they like little
Farmington.
booths, like almost like a phone booth, or
It's like a shack, like like when
like
you.
you would see at like a Metro Park
It's
or something?
exactly what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Like when you're going to Kensington and they like
Yeah,
make you
yeah.
like pay
Yes.
your $10 to get in.
Yes.
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
And so it was right in downtown. I think it was by Botsford Inn. Um, And yeah, oh no, totally. It was connected to the Botsford Inn. I did put that
Okay.
note on here.
Makes sense because it was
Um,
like almost like a hub.
yeah, so like that was the hotel, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I got to pay the toll, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
pay to get a room overnight. So actually, what ended up happening, in about like depending on the sections of the roads, because all of these roads were maintained by different companies, they would get into disrepair at different times. So like some sections lasted till the 1880s,
Mhm.
some lasted to like the 1840s. But actually, what ended up happening is like all of these private companies eventually went bankrupt due to the cost of maintaining these roads. My favorite thing about anything I learned from this was they used to call the warped boards road snakes. And I don't know why. Like I guess like
It's
they're
I mean,
dangerous, but
I mean, the maths because their
yeah.
terms for things now are
Yeah,
like
you mentioned
road gators.
road gators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which semi
Yeah,
tires that have
those like
shredded.
when they blow out and they're
Yeah,
like in the road and like if you run over, it's
road
gonna
gator.
mess your stuff up. They're called road gators. So something about like reptiles and roads people
Yeah, it's
like.
weird.
But I do, and another thing I found something funny is like Michigan's been trying to fix the damn roads for like 200
Look at that.
years.
That does not offer anything good for us
No,
when it
it's
comes to
it's
our
a
roads.
never-ending battle of
Oh my
maintaining the
gosh.
roads.
Oh, dude, they just patched the hill, like the Shiawassee going up like where the hill is.
Yeah.
I think it's worse now.
Is it like it's bumpy and like
It's really
it's like
bumpy.
speed bumps
I'm
now
like,
instead of potholes?
"Ugh." But that's all right.
Well, and
Michigan's hard,
it's
dude.
hard. We got bad weather. We
Yeah.
got we got contracts with companies that, don't look to build a road that lasts 50 years. They're because of the cost of building these roads,
Mhm.
they're only building roads that last 10 years.
Right.
And so
Keeping themselves in business.
keeping themselves in business, and honestly, like the state doesn't want to pay the amount of money it costs to build
Of
a
course.
50-year road.
Yeah.
So it can be someone else's problem.
Mhm.
And that's how it works.
Love
So
that.
yeah, I mean that's I thought it was important to share some of the history of Farmington, and thank God for Arthur Power because
Yeah.
none of us would be here today.
No rubber band guns.
No rubber band guns. Your elementary school would have been named something different.
Well, and since we're talking, I think it's relevant because we're talking about Grand River, but extremely far ahead from where the time period we were talking about.
Yeah.
I found out that because I've always been really interested in transportation, um, but I have gotten interested in public transportation.
Yeah.
Because I think we need it a
Yep.
lot more of it. Being Detroit, public transportation has never been a forefront up until I think recently, just because of the big three.
Yep.
I mean, they believe everyone should have cars,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
which does not encourage public transportation.
No, it's not in the best interest of
And
the industries
also,
around
I think
here.
a lot of it has to do with going to Europe and
Yep.
like experiencing like train travel in Europe, which is
It is
incredible.
incredible.
It is so cool.
It's cool.
Like I think it's one of the cooler things about Europe is just how easy it is to get to
Well, it
different
shrinks the
countries.
size of it.
It does.
It shrinks the size of it. It
It
makes
totally
the whole
does.
place way more accessible.
And so I'm like, oh, how cool would it be if we had like a tram, like a queue line on Grand River coming to
Like, oh,
Farmington?
down
Yes.
Grand River.
Yes. Well, it
That would
turns
be
out
nice.
we had one.
No, I didn't know
There
that.
was a tram that ran up and down Grand River.
No way.
Yes.
Do you know
Through
when?
Farmington. No, I don't know. I'm not going to
Okay.
say the years because
Yeah.
I don't want to misquote the years.
Okay.
But I do know that
It was after the wood plank roads, probably.
I would say there were automobiles. I know that.
Okay. So probably like mid 1900s.
So, and the building that we call the winery
Okay.
was the power generating.
Oh, was it like
station.
steam generation
It
or
was.
something? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's why they probably had those tall towers.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that powered that whole line. And it used to come
way.
through Farmington. Super cool.
Was it cable powered?
It was.
Oh, so not only was it the generators, but was it the wheelhouse? I think is what it
Yes.
was called.
Well, no, so it was. I believe it was powered by electricity for the
Okay.
cables.
Ah.
Like
Oh,
you
so they had
think-
overhead.
Yes.
Or underground, either one of the two.
It was overhead.
They had.
Everything's overhead.
I did not know
back
they had
then, especially.
overhead cables.
Remember, ever seen the pictures of the old times when
in like Detroit? Yeah, it was crazy.
It was like you'd look up, it was just lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that in I want to say Seattle.
Yeah, I think so. Seattle, San Francisco. I can't remember.
I think Seattle has overhead lines on their railway.
But
transport.
it was super cool to figure that out, and I'm like, man, how cool would it be?
So
it
got converted into a winery after it was the powerhouse.
Yeah, I should know the history of the winery.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe we can talk about that in another episode because I think
bookmark that.
I think the winery was sold to a private developer and they were looking at either rehabbing it or redeveloping it in some way. So that could definitely be a topic for.
I know the sale that took forever to go through, and this is now current day. Has gone through. It has a new owner. It was in a really messy, I believe it was like a probate situation.
Oh wow. Okay.
But that's all since been worked out. I know as of like a couple months ago, the city didn't even know what was being developed or what was being proposed.
Got it. So like the sale was going through, but there was no plans in place. Like they hadn't submitted.
Well, they've heard a bunch of plans, but whoever has bought it now, I think it's still in like the planning stages.
Okay.
So the city there's no like cohesive plan for something for it, but it's been bought, which is good.
It is good.
It's blight.
It currently is blight.
I've been
it could be something great.
It's cool.
It is cool. I've been in it too. They used to have like haunted houses and stuff.
They did.
There. Yeah.
I would say my earliest memory is going to that haunted house.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can't even go without a respirator, dude. It's so bad. The mold. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It got let go.
Mm-hmm.
So probate situations that tends to happen.
It can be tough, man.
So I'll tell you what, we're coming in right at an hour now.
Are we?
Which is,
time flies when you're having fun.
I think it's good. It does, and I think that's good timing. To kind of leave it there because we did go over everything we wanted to cover this episode.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We're gonna have a guest next podcast.
We've got some cool stuff coming up.
We have some really cool stuff coming up. So definitely stay tuned in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for staying in the loop.